like, we're pretty amazing as people. We do mad stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's a huge thing, especially coming off the back of, you know, the COVID years and stuff like that. This isolation thing, especially with men, that seems like a real problem. I think I try and relate it a little bit like to some of my friendship group, that there seems to be this thing now as we've got older that people aren't as open to reach out. They aren't as open to go out for drinks or go for meals or even reply to texts. There's been this weird shift in this sort of, not, maybe it's just me, but like, you know, this sort of just want to be left alone and do my own thing sort of thing, which is great. And I always use this example of like, you know, I am very much, I like where I live in the countryside. I want to be left alone until I'm lonely. And then I'm like, I need community. I need friends. I need family. I need it quite urgently. But I think thinking about how I structure my life, it needs to be like drip fed more. You need to intentionally make those efforts to see people, to do things, to go out for bike rides with your mates and not just on your own all the time. I think a lot of men especially might suffer more with that these days, I'd say. I don't know, but I'd say so.
You see that, you feel, yeah, but you get a sense of that just from your friendship groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think there seems to be like, it's almost become too hard to be like, oh, I'll organise a ride with some mates. I don't know, maybe it's just my friendship group, I'm not sure, but I definitely think, I'd say I see more people out, for example, mountain biking on their own than you used to. Seems to be that way, where I live.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It seems to become like, oh, I just want to do my own thing all the time.
Yeah, I think probably the community question is probably the thing that I'm most passionate about.
Yeah. And people are lacking community, would you say? Is that fair?
I can only really relate it to me.
Yeah.
So, pandemic happened. I had a daughter in the pandemic, 2020. She was born in a lockdown. All the gnarly stuff. Parents couldn't visit for months on end. All that sort of stuff. Isolated and in London. Had like a good community of like new parents and stuff like that. While coming out of the lockdown, we decided to leave London and move more rural, which was like intentional decision, super excited about it and like hyped that we've done it and it's like the right decision, it's all good. But coming out of the pandemic, I would have probably classed myself as more introverted than extroverted. And I think there's some confusion about those terms like introversion and extroversion. I think people sometimes use being introverted as a reason not to be with people.
Yeah.
And that's not strictly true. It just means it's the type of or quality of the conversation or the quality of the relationships. So for example, I said earlier, I'm not like a massive pub guy. You know, me sitting in a room, you know, around like a kind of like a boisterous 10 thing. I just kind of want one-on-one. Like this is like a dream scenario.
Yeah.
But I love people. I want people. I love people. And so coming out of the pandemic, and moving to this new area, didn't know anybody, hadn't been in that part of the world before. And also I changed like mentally and my personality had changed. You know, pre-pandemic is when I requalified, went back to school, got my all of my qualifications, launched this business. That was like a huge journey. Like I'm so different to what I was when I was like 35, for example. And I came out of it and I was kind of lonely. You know, I have my like best friends and I love them dearly and I do see them, but you know, we're all at a certain age where there's children and I guess like the scheduling of activities feels like a lot more, you know, when we were younger, everyone was just
one
there.
text and everyone's just there.
Yeah. So I think the pressures of like family life and people being sporadic in where they live. And so I had the intention, I was like, I want to know loads of people. I want to know lots of different types of people. I want to have like cool conversations. I want to meet climate scientists. I want to meet other people. I want to meet new people. And I created this thing. I recognize that I can't do that. I can't expect to be invited to do things if I don't invite people to do things. I recognize that fact. I can't want to be around people and then just sit and wait for it. I basically have to be intentional. So I thought, what if I just do a dinner and I invite like 13 people? I just do a dinner. Like I'll do. Everybody pays. I'm not paying for it, but I'll organize it. And did it. And I did a dinner, and that was 2 years ago. And like 14 people came. A couple of people I didn't really like. Some people I'd known for a long time, but loads of other like kind of friends of friends kind of put the word out. The premise of basically everyone had to come alone.
Right.
I was kind of curious about kind of creating a space where loads of people didn't know. I can't be the only one.
Yeah.
Like other people must want to meet other people. I'm not like an alien. We're not aliens. And it was the maddest night. It was like, and it was, I got a spot that was like private. It wasn't like a restaurant. It was just like, I managed to make it quite a bit of an event. Like 6 courses, like met a chef who wanted to do it. Everybody paid. And it was the most insane 5 hours
Really,
of my life. It was wild. And everybody kind of moved around. So you sat down and then every other course I'd move people around. So everybody got to kind of hang out with everybody. There was like no agenda. It was just like, imagine coming to my house. Let's like this. Like we've never met before. So it was a bit like, let's just talk about anything.
Yeah.
Cats, dogs, love, big stuff, small stuff, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And after doing that one, I was a bit like, and everybody after was like, that was like the best night I've had in like years.
Wow.
It wasn't anything special in the sense of just sat down and had some food.
Yeah.
It was just like new people and quite varied. And I was like, God, that was amazing. I need to do another one. So I booked another one the next month. And then 14 new people came. And I was like, and the same thing happened again. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it again. And each one that went, each one I did, I got more confident in essentially being center of attention, essentially,
Host.
or understand the host and
Yeah.
being knowing that it's important to kind of like create the good vibes. And 2 years later, maybe like 800 people have had dinner with me now.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
All strangers.
That's cool.
Like just anybody I kind of bump into who I think's like a good vibe. I'm just like, want to come for dinner? I've got one, like I've got one in 2 weeks, got another one in 2 weeks after that. My last one I did was in LA, and I'll do them all over. I was in LA for work, speaking at a conference, did one in LA. 20 people came, didn't know any of them.
Wow.
Did one on a beach in France around another like festival that I went to.
Yeah.
It's super interesting, right? Because we've sort of got a metric. Everyone who listens to this is a bike rider, and as you go through life, like for the last 20 years, it's not been very hard for me to go riding with people. But you get to an age where everyone changes a bit, and it thins out, dude.
It does.
It thins out, and like I do hear what you're saying, like the dinner party idea almost for riding. Yeah, you can see that you get to a certain age and just there are more distractions and there are more responsibilities, I guess. I guess that's probably what it is.
I think, you've also just summarised what I said badly before about like it's just got harder to see people, and I think there's all these other elements, kids, family, work pressure, this, that and the other, whereas before it would literally be like one text, we're going here at this time, everyone's there, and it's a crew, whereas now it's really difficult to start getting your mates to come together.
Do you know what else? Because of the constant communication, like when we just had home phones, we used to meet up the woods. It was without fail, everyone would turn up. It would be first thing in the morning. You didn't have to like almost communicate it. It was the thing that you did.
Yeah.
Obviously that's because we're kids and we're fucking around in the woods and we're all riding bikes and we're all super hyped up about it and stuff, but there is something about like endless communication that almost the options are so much that it leaves you bewildered, like scrolling on Netflix. You don't, when you just had a DVD, easy, you put it in, you watch it. When there's 9 million and you're scrolling through them and you don't even know what genre, and they go all directions, up, down, left, right. Like you don't know where it kind of, you feel a bit bewildered. I almost think, I don't think that's an age thing. That's, life has become more complicated, right? Surely it must affect every aspect, right?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. You know, like watching Netflix is more just about scrolling Netflix and then turning it off.
Dude, that happens so often, and I'm never sure if it's just me. George and I, we sit there. You've
Did
been
it last
there.
night.
Did it last night? We were just going, do you want to watch that? And then I even said to her, all right, well, let's try and break it down. Just pick 4.
Yeah.
And like rate them.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I don't want any of them. Ridiculous.
So watch something crap and turn it off.
But do you not want any of them, or do you not want any of them because there's all these other ones?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I think
Too much.
I think that what I know, everybody wants to be with people. I don't think nobody is like, because the mad thing is that the point of these is you have to come alone. You've got to be uncomfortable. You've got to walk into a room. I don't tell anybody what's going to happen. I don't tell where you're going until the morning of.
Right, yeah.
You don't
like
tell
where-
them where to put their keys, do you?
Yeah, not quite like that. But more just, it's more about like the discomfort of basically walking into a room and not knowing anyone, and then quite quickly recognizing the fact that actually people are sound. And my job is to just create the environment that makes it feel warm. Like when I walked in here, it's just like, hi,
Yeah.
it's no big deal,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And if only just to start dislodging this idea, because what we end up doing as we get older, being like, I don't like people, or, you know, all these funny things that we say about, like, well, you were saying, just being, I don't want to run about people, like I'm quite happy just kind of on my own, all that sort of stuff.
100%.
And I don't think it's true.
No.
I think it's like it's a really
defense mechanism.
really easy get out clause.
Yeah.
We actually want loads and loads of people. My life in the last few years has significantly changed because of this stuff. The night before, I don't sleep. I don't have nails. I'm like,
For one of these parties, yeah, you don't strike me as someone who's worried about one of these parties.
and this is the problem is that we instantly assume that if somebody is doing something, being an incredible rider, that they're basically just complete confidence, effortless. They were born to do it. They don't they were born with like a special gift and all that sort of stuff. I have learnt to become like a host. I have learnt how to put on dinners. I'm basically messaging people and being like, hey, I was doing it on the train here. I've got one in 2 weeks. I've got to fill it up, and it's got to be new people that I don't really know. So I'm like, people think I'm mad. Like I'll go to a gig or whatever, and the guy sitting next to me, if I'm talking to him about at the end of the gig, I'll be like, I don't know you, but do you want to come for dinner? And they're just like, you mental. And the one in LA is the best. I was on the flight to LA, and I had one on Saturday night, and I sat next to this immigration lawyer. She was so nice. And getting off the plane, we just had like good chats on the flight. And at the end of the flight, I was like, we don't know each other, but I'm doing a dinner like in Silver Lake tomorrow. There's going to be like 16 people there. Do you want to come? She just went, all right.
No way, yeah.
And she turned up.
Rad.
I was like, badass.
That's cool.
And now I know her.
Yeah.
And now we follow each other. If I'm in LA, I can call her up, hang out. And the world has gotten loads smaller. And we have that when we're in like our micro scenes when we're younger. If we, I'm from grew up in Bristol. Skateboarding in mid-90s in Bristol was big because there was this shop called 50/50, which was a guy called Danny Wainwright who created it, who was already like one of the UK's best. And it's like he created that scene of loads of young people getting into skateboarding. And then that becomes your identity, and I relate to that. And it's the same if you're in a particular music scene or whatever that may be. But it slowly dissipates, and sometimes we need new things, new hobbies, new interests, new people. And also I think someone's just got to do it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Like you do it.
Yeah.
This is like you guys do it, bring people here, get people out the
definitely.
house, talk, share ideas, force them to speak.
Yeah.
About big things.
Why do you think it is that you... Because I'm actually 100% with you. Okay. Hey, man, what an episode that was. You did amazing in it.
And so did you.
You shone like a star.
You shone like a moon.
Can we also put something up here that you can click on for the next episode?
How about we put a subscribe up there in the middle?
Yeah, I love
We're going to put a video we think that our lovely companionship will love on your face.
On my face?
Yeah.
And so you can't see me now?
Gone. And on my face, another video that we think people will love. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please hit like and subscribe. You guys are the best.
Peace and love.